Previously, in episode 3, Haruto had to collect 5 rings by marrying the 5-ring princess in order to become powerful enough to seal the Abyss King, out of which he married to Nokana. She was the Maiden of Light and his childhood friend, so she was heartbroken from the thought that Haruto would have another girl. Even so, they travels to Elf Land so that Haruto could marry the elf princess and get the Wind Ring. But Nephritis was a shut-in princess because her mother and father sacrificed their lives to make a wind barrier to save the Elf Kingdom from the Abyss King. But the main reason was that Nephritis could be free from being a ring princess, but they took one promise from Nephritis before the sacrifice, that she should never leave the royal castle. And the reason behind it is in the recap of episode 3, episode 3 recap link is in the description. So as the story continues, Alabaster tells Haruto to give up on Nephritis because the Abyss King's armies is close and a war could break out any moment. So it would be wise to get another rings by marrying other ring princess, so now leaving is the best option because Haruto isn't even strong enough to beat an Abyss Knight. So they listened to Alabaster, and Jade was happy that Haruto was going out. But there a servant came in and informed him that a strong Abyss monster made a way through the wind wall and now other monsters are invading the elf village. And Haruto and his group saw the Abyss monster and ditched their plan to leave. Their nokana kisses Haruto to give him a magic boost, because the monsters are running wild in the Elfland. Meanwhile, Nephritis heard the news of monsters from the Elder, but she thinks her brother would do something about them. Elder was disappointed in Nephritis because the Abyss Knight had made his way through the castle to steal the Ring of the Wind from the former king and queen, who turned into a stone to protect the elf village, so Jade gets there to stop the Abyss Knight with his own power, but he was no match against it and got slammed on a wall. So when he was prepared to take on a heavy attack, Alabaster repels its attack. Jade didn't like that Haruto got back, but Haruto assured him that he didn't came here because of him. He's here for Nephritis, and this time he got a nice boost from a kiss, but even with that boost, it was still hard to face the Abyss Knight, and Nokana knew Haruto wants to protect her. That's why he's here, but his powers were still insufficient to fight. Nokana knew this, but she still felt hurt from remembering the moment Nephritis was close to Haruto. But she knew Haruto's life would be in danger if he didn't get the power from another rings, so she made up her mind and leaves from there. She get to Nephritis and begged her to marry Haruto. Because Haruto won't back out because the monsters are after the Wind Ring, so the Elder gets there to buy some time for Haruto. Nokana shares. Her parents also died while protecting her in the rings, so their situation is similar. Because Nephritis' parents also died to create the wind barrier just so Nephritis could be free from being a ring princess, so she wants to fulfill her parents' last wish. But that's all the more reason for her to protect everyone because she has the power to do so, unlike Nokana. Nephritis thought all of them are fighting because they have responsibility to their job, but Nokana tells Nephritis that Haruto was fighting to protect Elf Village because it's her home. He was putting his life in line without any greed, which pains Nokana because her support isn't enough anymore, so she begged Nephritis to save Haruto, which melted her heart. And she gets back to shrine with Nokana with a huge hammer, both charged in and broke off her own parents to set the rings free. The barrier vanished, and Nephritis kissed Haruto to marry him, which gave him to the Ring of Wind. That ring shows the proof of their marriage, and their bond with each other creates a huge showcase of power that killed all the monsters in the area. Now the Abyss Knight was weakened, so Alabaster signals him and Haruto took this chance to stab the blade right through its mask. But he used up a lot of power from the rings, so Haruto falls unconscious. After that he woke up. Besides his wife's and Elder was impressed by Haruto that he survived even after using that much power from rings. But there a woman enters and thanked Haruto for saving Ramka from the Abyss King. She was the sister of the previous queen and the true inheritor of the ring, Princess Samaragdi, who left the village after her lover went missing. An Elder tells Haruto that she was the Abyss Knight beneath that mask, and she had the Black Ring of Wind. So Samaragdi was heartbroken after her lover went missing, and the Abyss King took advantage of it and took control of her with that black ring. And with this, it's proven that no one knows Abyss King's true power, but at least they know Abyss King can create Abyss Knight with the black rings, and Haruto had to stop it somehow. But he was still weak from the usage of magic, so Nephritis tells him about the hot springs that have healing properties, and with that pretty smile, how could our boy say no to that? So, he gets in the hot spring with his wives to heal his powers. So Nephritis lightened the mood and asked Nokana to teach her how to carry out a wife's duty since she's the first wife. That made her flattered, and Nokana blurted out that she's very close to Haruto, had many kisses and even shares the same bedroom, and that's where Elder comes in and heard every word of it. She's even bigger than Akino from High School DxD, so she tells them she's quite experienced herself, so from here on out, I have to cut out, because it had the High School DxD situation vibes, so please watch it carefully. So aside from them, Samaragdi asked Alabaster if he knows about her lover, anything or any news would do. She wanted to know if he's dead or he survived. So Alabaster gives her a pendant her lover had left in Alabaster's care and told him to relay his message to Samaragdi. He was deeply saddened to see Samaragdi being rejected by other elves because of him, so he left and settled down in a faraway land, because he wanted Samaragdi to be happy. Then as the sun rises, Nephritis visits his parents' grave, and to pay her respect before she leaves, she told Jade that she had made up her mind this time. So she follows Haruto to live up to her duty as the ring princess and stay by the king's side to offer him power. Moreover, she wanted to explore the outside world with Haruto, and away from them. Samaragdi was with Elder when she heard from two guys that the sage who visited them was the man named Alabaster. He was her lover. But that's where episode 4 comes to an end, but stay tuned to watch another episode on my channel. Until then, take care.